Hello, friends. Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be doing a bit of a 2024 planner setup brainstorming session. I'll be walking you guys through the steps that I do in order to plan out my next year's planner, figure out the things that I need and how I want to change things that I feel like are essential and maybe I can do away with, just based off of planning throughout 2023. These are the same types of things you can ask yourself while figuring out your own planner setup. So I'm taking you along on the journey in case you're having trouble figuring out what you want to do for 2024 and getting your planner situated for your needs. If that sounds good, let's go ahead and get started. To begin, we're going to evaluate our current planner system. So I'm just going to be looking back at 2023 and seeing what I want to revise for 2024. So the first question I'm going to ask myself is, what is working for me? I definitely love the Franken planning system and just having one planner for all things. That really resonates with me, so I'm definitely keeping that. I also really am enjoying the layout of my faith planner this year. Like, I wouldn't really change anything if I can keep up with it. I also look through my monthly goal setting. I'm really liking that system as well, setting up my goals each month and then pushing those into my hourly schedule. And then finally, my social media monthly scheduling is going well. So what is not working? My inbox system just needs more maintenance, I feel. It kind of gets forgotten about in the beginning of the planner, so I need to figure out a better system for that. I also feel like my whole health tracking situation needs a bit of a revamp. I really want to change how I'm tracking my fasting, and then I want to include more of a brief summary each day on my chronic allergy and asthma symptoms, just so I can have a better feel for what is going on, along with knowing what weather and things like that are affecting me. Also, to the bonus points, writing that every month the same things isn't working. So I do want to figure out a better, more efficient way of keeping that in my planner. I also want to reevaluate how I'm doing my daily, weekly tasks on 2 different spreads. That is not working for me either. I would rather just be writing those tasks down once and get rid of that redundancy. The time blocking, I really love that in my planner, but going back and filling it in every day just needs a bit of an improvement. It seems like I can do that more efficiently, so I'm going to work out how to do that. Writing in the budget account transactions daily, maybe just take that out where I'm keeping track of our bank balances and instead let it be electronic or do it only weekly. Finally, my reference section clean out just needs to be scheduled somehow so that I get to it on a regular basis. And third, we're going to ask ourselves, what do I want to eliminate for the next year? There are a few things that aren't really quite working for me, I would say. But I did want to add in how the future log is also really something that is working. But let me just flip through and really focus in on the things that aren't really working and I want to remove, including the health monthly. It just never seems to be a good flow for me using that spread as is, so I either want to rework it or remove it. I also am thinking I want to see my measurements and weight all for the entire year all at once. I feel like my current system just doesn't give me enough information, so having that move to an annual tracker will be helpful. And I've been talking about this on my channel, but I am considering removing my daily planner, which is a horizontal planner. I just feel like that redundancy could be removed and lessen my planner keep up that I need to take care of. So I need to figure out how I could relocate a few things, but it would be pretty cool if I could eliminate a full planner. And then I need to figure out how to move my social media tracking from a monthly layout to maybe an annual tracker as well. It just would be nice to see a little bit more of a broad view of that area. And then finally, what do I want to add to my planner setup for 2024? A few things I've been thinking about: consolidating more items into annual trackers, so adding those different trackers into my planner. I also really want to have a books and TV collections page, things that I've been watching or want to watch and read. I want to add those in at some point. And then I need to kind of figure out a better system, or maybe just a newer place for my memory keeping in my planner. I am on the hunt for that. So items that I need in my planner is next. I'm just going to go through my current system and write down the things that I must include in my 2024 planner. And these are just like the functional items, not the accessories or the outward things that I would like to have. I want to have that inbox system. I want to have my annual and quarterly goals like I did this year. I really liked having a cleaning schedule. I also love my future log and definitely want to keep that going forward. I'm going to go ahead and separate out the kind of different planners, if you will, or sections in my planner so I can keep track of where we're at. So starting now into my phase planner, the things that I love about it are that takeaway section with my reading span for the day, my daily reading, having a prayer list in there, having my faith habit trackers. I like that. I love writing the daily verse. Moving on to my health planner, some things that I definitely want to have in there are a way to track my fasting. Also, I want to add in that symptom summary somewhere, which I really don't have a place for at the moment. My workout tracker, I really like seeing that, as well as my habit trackers for my health. My bonus points list, I really like that. My measurements, of course, and also my monthly stats. Those are all very valuable to me in my planning. Moving on to the weekly area, I really want to keep my daily stats as well, my daily food log and water intake, along with my workouts with the details in the stats. And then at the back, I have that meds and supplements tracker. I definitely want to have something like that again for 2024, along with a symptom tracker as well, which is part of it all in one right now. In my annual tracker, I have my weight every day and my period tracker, which is something I definitely want to keep. That's pretty much it for my health. Moving on into my daily planner, I have the TV and books that I've watched that month. I want to keep that. Memory, a day keeping, and my seasonal bucket list as well. I feel like those go together, so I'll try to match that up again. I also really like having a monthly to-do list, some place to add things that I want to take care of in the month. Habit trackers, social stats as well, although I do think I would need a new home for that. The this week to-do list, my daily to-dos, along with my focus each day, all that on my horizontal. My monthly schedule, of course, I want to have a place to see my month all at a glance, and my social media schedule as well in a similar fashion. Monthly goals, hourly scheduling, video production chart that I create every week. And then into my budget planner, the things I really love are having a budget monthly overview of my bills and income, budget overview and more of a line item list where I can compare my financial outlook, my annual version of that, which compares the full year. And those are the main things that I want to keep, although I did forget to write down my expense sheet. So definitely want to keep track of our expenses throughout the month as well. And then finally, of course, I definitely want to keep those reference sections in the back I'm also going to change my education section to be a more miscellaneous section, so I have a place for items that don't quite fit into the other categories. So the next step is to identify where those necessary items that I want to have in my planner will go as far as, how I want to see them. So I'm breaking them down into C collections, A annually, Q quarterly, M monthly, W weekly, and D daily. I'm just going to go through the list, and as I get to each item, identify how I might want to see that in my planner on an annual view, quarterly, monthly, weekly, or daily view. Like I said earlier, some of these I'm currently tracking one way and would like to see it in a different view where I get more information at once, or where I want to drill down a little more specific and be able to put in more detail. I'm trying to, look at how I'm doing it now and if I want anything to change. Also of note to the daily versus weekly, those are almost the same. I don't really do daily sheets. I just do a weekly view. I like that a little bit better. So I'm going to use those interchangeably, daily, weekly, in a sense. I also have two items that are basically the same, but a little bit different. I have the workout tracker and the workout details. Those are, could be the same thing, but I also want to see them in a little bit of a different view. One where I'm putting in all the detail on the weekly, and then I also want to see how I'm doing in a month view, how many workouts I did, for example. Those I do want to repeat in order to get a better view of how I'm doing with that topic in a different format. Okay, so I'm just gonna, like I said, go through all of the items and figure out exactly how I want to view them. The next step will be to write down how I want to organize these items in my planner. So we're going to focus now on the organization side of things. And again, I'm just really sticking with the functional stuff. The main sections I currently have in my planner right now are as follows. I have the inbox. I have my goals. I have a productivity. I also have schedules. I have a reference section, and then at the back, I just have notes for notes paper. So some of these I feel could be changed or removed. For example, the productivity section could move to reference. Schedules, having a tab for that might be a bit redundant. Notes is just note paper, so I can put that right at the back of my planner without any kind of designation, and know at the back is always notes paper. So those are the main sections. Now we're going to move on to what I call my top tabs, or that whole schedule section that includes the different planners I use. Currently, each of my planners within that section have 3 to 4 tabs associated with it. The only exception to that would be the yearly tab, which is only just my future log at the moment, but I think I might want to expand that and make that its own planner. So I'm just going to write 1 through 4 for each of the tabs that I could have in each section, and then I'm going to identify the planners that go with those tabs. I'm also adding in some notes there for what could go in my reference section as far as the sub-tabs for that. But basically, I just want to get a clear idea for how I'm going to be breaking out my daily system of going through my planners. So to do that, I'm going to just do kind of a shorthand, identifying each of the planners as well as the main sections by a letter similar to what it starts with. And then back to those items that I need in my planner, I'm going to take those references and figure out where each of those items is going to fall within my planner organization. So I'm using the letters on the right side, but I'm also too going to be adding in a few things that maybe I didn't write in that I need in my planner, but would, like to see or maybe plan to have in my planner next year. So I've started to put in my top tabs for that yearly planner. We're going to call it a planner for now. So of course I have my year at a glance, which I don't currently reference at all, but maybe I could find a good use for that, along with maybe a perpetual calendar, which again, I'm not using currently, but would be very helpful to have in there. Having a future log, of course, and then I would have a fourth tab that currently is unassigned. And then we move into my faith planner, and there, since I really like the setup as I have it now, I will put in like the overview, the month, and the weekly pretty much as it is, except for I am going to change the positioning. Whereas I have the month, overview, week currently, I'm going to flip those and put the month back on the second tab. I just felt that that was a little bit easier to get to, having the month on the second tab. So I will probably change that for my entire top tab flow. If you guys want to know more about my current setup and just how I utilize top tabs and sections in my planner, I did do a video just recently about it, and I will link it below as well as in the card so you can access it if you want to know more. So I'm going back and forth right now and really just trying to figure out where these items are going to live now in my health planner. Since this one really needed a good rework, I am playing around, changing things, thinking about what I might want to add that's new, how I might want to do things differently in this planner. So I am evaluating that, looking back and forth between the sheet and what I have in mind possibly, or the ideas that have been floating around for the last couple of days, figuring out how that might all work together. So I'm visually thinking about splitting up my overview pages, perhaps also to maybe altering the positioning of certain pages in my planner, certain items, maybe even eliminating the standard monthly view from my health planner in general, since it's really been very awkward for me the last couple of years, honestly, and figuring out something new for that position in my daily top tab flow. So I'm just writing things where I think they might go, again, thinking about that and tapping into what is currently there on the items I must have list. I'm also referencing to that time frame I mentioned before. So anything that falls under like a month, a day, or a weekly view, I'm putting that in with the daily and the weekly denotation kind of being the same thing. That is very helpful because it really helps steer your flow of your planner too. If you are keeping it daily, weekly, monthly, as you go through your planner, if you're keeping that consistency, it's easy to know where to plug things in once you identify how you want to see those things. That was very beneficial for my health planner, figuring out where I wanted to change things up and move things around. I also am going to fill in my budget planner. That again isn't going to change very much, but I may change the order of things a bit to flow a little bit better with my new order of things. And then I'm working through my work planner. I've got where basically the overview and the hourly section is pretty set up. I went back and referenced those things that I want to change for 2024. That was helpful to kind of see how I might want to rework this planner and be able to maybe eliminate my daily planner, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm just going to take some time here figuring out where things might fit, where I can maybe eliminate things, and where I can add things in. I don't currently have anything on that fourth tab under my hourly schedule goals planner. So there's a place where I can move some items from the daily planner. Also, too, I've really enjoyed putting the monthly goals and the weekly tasks together, but I don't feel like I need the weekly tasks anymore. Again, it's another redundancy that I could easily just move right on to my weekly view. So there's a page that I could save in a spread that I could maybe move something else into. That fourth tab there in the yearly schedule is an opportunity to move my memory planning into. I could just do a 12-month memory a day on that fourth tab. And since it's going to be part of my top tabs, I'll know I'll always reach it and look at it each day. So there's a possibility there, maybe. I'm working things out as I am talking to you now. It's all still fluid, but again, it's more of like a brainstorming session of where things could go. And it was really helpful when I was done because I was definitely struggling on where I thought I could really place a few things, what I needed to build, and just this process of working things out, moving things around, figuring out my flow, like I said, where I think I want things to be, really helped, I think, in general, get me on the right track. And again, I was able to see without really buying anything, without making anything ahead of time, what might work best for me. That's one of the best things about doing this process ahead of time. You save yourself the trouble of buying spreads you don't need or just getting sucked into the cuteness and then not using planners. That I find I tend to do, or at least I used to before I went through this process of really narrowing down what I need and what I don't, so that nothing gets wasted. You don't waste your money, you don't waste paper, you don't waste your time, all of those good things. That said, I'm just going to quickly evaluate where I'm at here with my whole organization setup. I was able to move everything over from my needs list into my planner organization. I still have some things that are technically open, and I can maybe work through what I might want to add there or change up in those sections. I could eliminate that one planner. That was one of the things I wanted to make sure I did. This is also not set in stone, so I am able to still make changes and fluctuate as the new year approaches. I'm checking off all of those things that I wanted to keep as far as what was working, what wasn't, what I'm going to eliminate, and what I wanted to add. Checking those things off, and then filling in any gaps that I'm seeing, which mainly revolve around creating some kind of routine schedule for touching all of those planner parts that were getting neglected, and those collections pages that I would like to include. So there you have it, you guys, my system for planning out my 2024 planner setup. I know it might be a lot, but this is just the way that I approach it since I have so many planners. Hopefully you guys got a few things from this process that you could take away for your own planner planning and organization. If you have any questions, do drop those into the comments below. I'd be happy to give you any advice or explain anything that I did a little further if that wasn't clear. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.